Hello all. Today we will be tracing the journey of West Bengal from NFHS 4 round to NFHS 5 round. Overall, the way the story unfolds, the state presents a mixed picture. In child malnutrition, it shows status quo in underweight, more or less a status quo. It gives a mixed picture in stunting, but it does show gains in wasting and severe wasting. Interestingly, it has performed very well in reduction in child mortality, but that's in the rural segment. In fact, in the urban segment, there are causes of concern, as we will see. On the anemia front, the situation is worsening, but we have this caveat which we have made a couple of times, that the NFHS 5 anemia data needs to be looked at more closely. And like most of the states, there's a considerable variation in the performance across different regions of the state, with certain persistent clusters that need attention. So it's important to map this journey and stress the need for a more decentralized planning. As we have always mentioned, that we are using the website nfhs4.indiagis.org and nfhs5.indiagis.org. So any viewers can go to these sites, use them for their own understanding, analysis, etc. They're fairly user-friendly. How has the story unfolded in the case of underweight? We almost see a similar picture from NFHS 4 to NFHS 5, with some improvement in Bardhaman. There's that patch which you will notice this. In fact, we have noticed some deterioration in the western set of districts. And note that we are using the same cutoffs for NFHS 4 and NFHS 5, because here the comparison is not with some other state, but comparison of West Bengal with itself. And if you notice the data range, now that has reduced at the upper end, which is a good news, but has gone up at the lower end from 18.3% children being underweight to 22.7% at the lower end. What is the story on the stunting side? We get a mixed picture. If we look closely in the western side, we see certain improvement. In the middle strip in West Bengal, you will again see the situation worsening in some places, and in some places it's improving. So that's why I call it a mixed picture. One can look at individual districts separately. And the data range has marginally gone up at the lower end and nominally reduced at the upper end. So which is not much of a change. We see a difference when it comes to wasting. And here you will see a considerable improvement, but the three districts, a red strip of three districts on the western side, I think this remains a persistent cluster, and that's something which the state needs to worry about. Here again, the data range has gone up at the lower end, though it has reduced at the upper end. And on the wasting side, this particular strip, we will see in the next slide. On severe wasting side, they seem to have done better. So here you will notice in severe wasting also, we are seeing an improvement across the state. The data range in severe wasting has gone up both at the lower and at the upper end. We will essentially look at this with some satisfaction, and then look at child mortality. But before that, there's that red single district which is in red color on the NFHS 5 at the bottom, and there's one district right at the top. So this is Darjeeling at the top and South Chobis Pargana at the bottom. I think they need attention. Turning from green to straight away red is a matter of worry. Child mortality, there are very interesting differences. If you look at neonatal mortality, it has come down from 22 to 15, which is something worth talking home about. Infant mortality has come down in the rural segment from 32 to 22.4, which is remarkable. And under 5 mortality has also come down from 38 to 26.2, which is again remarkable. But what has somewhat eclipsed this story is the urban mortality. In fact, it has gone up from 21 to 32 and again from 23 to 38. Now that's something which one needs to worry about. How has the anemia story unfolded? If we see children in the 6 to 59 months age group, we see considerable worsening. But again, as we have said a couple of times, NFHS 5 anemia data needs to be looked at a bit carefully because this appears implausible. And the data range has gone up sharply at the lower end, almost from 36.6% to 57.9%, which is huge. If we look at women in the 15 to 19 age group, we again see deterioration, but it's kind of a mixed picture. In some parts, there's slight improvement, but overall there is deterioration, worsening in the southern half. And when it comes to women in 15 to 49 age group, we see worsening across most of the state. So this is a matter of concern. We did an interesting slide, and this has not been put up in some of the other state analysis. We have put the districts together and color-coded their performance. So you see some districts uniformly doing well, some districts not doing so well. This is a good reference slide for the viewers, and they can look at it in leisure. But what you notice is that Kuch Bihar and Purva Medinipur, these are the districts which have done fairly well. So we went ahead and looked at the data of NFHS 4 for Purva Medinipur and Kuch Bihar. And as I have mentioned in some of the earlier episodes also, what we are really looking for is, does the district profile match closely with the WHO reference population profile? This green bell curve that you notice, the idea is that the red bell curve should move rightwards and go flush with the green. And one important distinction is below -3 sigma in this bell curve. In the green curve, you will notice that there is no area under the curve. It is 0. Below -3 sigma, there are no malnourished children. And this is something which we need to achieve first. In wasting, you see the district is almost there. In stunting and underweight, they have some ground to cover. But then this area which has been shown between an arrow mark and the red bell curve, the left portion, is fairly small, and it's possible to get a rough estimate of the task before the district administration or the district civil society or the district as a whole. Same case is Kuch Bihar. Kuch Bihar is probably a little less closer to the goalpost than Purva Medinipur. But here again we see a similar picture. In wasting, the area on the left side of the arrow is fairly small. It's not the same story for stunting. In fact, stunting is a tougher nut to crack, and underweight. So we also look at, like we talk in terms of, effective habits of or good habits of effective CEOs. Similarly, well-performing districts show a good result in some of the parameters. So we have parameters, overall parameters, we have parameters related to mother's care, and you would notice that these are the parameters where the districts are doing well in terms of improved sanitation facility, in terms of women's education, in terms of the antenatal care, and so on and so forth. So similarly, we have listed good parameters related to child feeding practices, child vaccination, and women and child health. Notice here that in terms of dietary diversity and dietary adequacy, now this is a problem practically all over the country, and it might be a good idea that the district, if it focuses on this, children who are having adequate diet, probably they may get a larger return on investment. Overall, so we look at West Bengal story as a mixed picture in child malnutrition, status quo in underweight, mixed picture in stunting, and gains in wasting and severe wasting. Very good performance on the child and infant mortality and neonatal mortality in the rural segment. But for infant and child mortality in the urban segment, this is a matter of concern. Now, this is also a matter of concern because West Bengal is more urbanized than many other states. So one needs to look at this parameter carefully. Anemia front, the situation has worsened, but as we have cautioned, we need to take a look at the NFHS 5 anemia data. In Kuch Bihar and Purva Mednipur, again the same question, that can these two districts aspire to become Kuposhan Mukt, at least in terms of wasting and underweight? And the state should seriously think about it, because one recalls what Gopal Krishna Gokhale had said, that what Bengal thinks today, India thinks tomorrow. So maybe if one of the district becomes Kuposhan Mukt, perhaps India may do it tomorrow. We leave the viewers with this thought and we move to next analysis. Thank you.